y'all, I'm Snow White. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's topic I am deeply passionate about. We're basically going to be going over a list of mental illnesses, the holistic cause of these illnesses, and cures for these illnesses, holistic cures. Holistic is basically the emotional, energetic, spiritual lifestyle type of problem that is causing this illness. So I always refer to it as you're the tree. Your outside body is like the tree that you see on the outside, right? On the outside of the ground. And then your inside body, what's underneath in your mind and inside, is like the roots. And you have to address what's inside in order to have a happy, healthy tree on the outside. The list of mental illnesses that I'm about to go over all kind of relate to each other. So they're like kind of grouped because the holistic cause is oftentimes very similar, and same with the cure. The main factors here are sleep, diet, healthy diet, getting your vitamins, your minerals, your nutrients, movement, like body movement, creation, community, love, giving it to yourself, giving it to others. That's basically the cure for all of these. And also the problem in all of these. So my story, I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety when I was in college. I let it label me, I let it control me, and I basically let it consume me. It was a personality trait of mine and one of my self-concept beliefs that I am depressed, I am anxious. It wasn't the doctors, it wasn't the pills that ended up healing me or helping me. It was the shadow work. It was the trauma that I sat and felt. It was being by myself and completely separating myself from my old life, my past self. Now, you don't have to change every single thing about your life, and I didn't change every single thing about my life, but I did step out of environments and away from people that were not promoting my best interest. And that was really hard. It felt like loss for a while. Growth feels like loss at first, but when you finally let go of what's no longer serving you and you allow yourself to be alone, figure out what's authentic to you, what's true to you, what you really like, what's your flow. So I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety when I was in college. I would have these episodes or emotional episodes that I just never truly got to process, or never allowed myself to truly process or sit down, have the time in stillness and figure out what is truly causing these, like, this pain and within me, and also creating patterns outside of me in my life. Now it wasn't just like a one step fixed all type of thing, but what I was realizing was that I was putting my potential, my purpose, my power in other people's hands. I was waiting for someone else to validate me, validate my emotions, or tell me that I'm good enough to go after something, whatever it was. And me making those excuses made me internally resent myself, made me not like who I was, because I was constantly putting myself in positions that I knew internally weren't for me. And that's where those problems occurred, where I started to feel depressed, I started to feel anxious, I started to doubt myself, I started to overthink, second guess everything that I was saying or doing, because I was unaligned and I was so cluttered in my mind. I was partying a lot, I was in so many crowds, if this makes sense to some people. I was following the flow of what I thought like I was supposed to, go to college, get a job 9 to 5, whatever. And I constantly found myself hustling and grinding, looking for results, looking for money, or looking for, like, I dropped out of college and I felt like I had something to prove. So it was like, okay, let's hustle, get this money and get this bread so I can show all of these people, like, yeah, you don't need college, like, you can do it without. And like I'm not dumb, I'm not some delinquent dropout like you guys say I am. Like, I'm smart, I'm this, you know. And I was doing all these things for the wrong reasons, to prove something, to again look for validation. And that hustle culture drove me to the ground. It made me hit rock bottom. Also, when you're unaligned, you're attracting unaligned opportunities, people, places, things. Everybody around me was doubling down what I was telling myself internally. Because of my self-concept, because these labels that I had put on myself really did control my entire life. I remember 2.5 years ago, I wanted to make YouTube videos so badly. I just dropped out of college. This was what my soul was telling me to do. Make YouTube videos, build my dream career, build my dream life. And I remember hitting record and not being able to make it through 5 minutes of a video of talking without literally crying. And I would do things that would try to cheer me up. Okay, let's get dressed and get all cute because I like to put on makeup and put on a nice outfit. Let's do that. And then we can go to the thrift store. And that's how I would talk to myself. We can go to the thrift store. And it'll be so fun, and we can make this little video so that you feel like you're actually doing your dreams and da-da-da-da-da. And I couldn't get through the video without crying, and that happened so many times. And I just posted a video of me going to the thrift store and whatever, and I started crying randomly yesterday while I was walking my dog because it kind of just brought me back to that. I completely forgot how much I've grown, how far I've come, because I'm constantly still pushing for the next, and that's where I need to take a step back and appreciate the now and find the stillness to appreciate the now, because where I am now is so far from where I was. Long story short, your mental illness is a root cause from that happened in your life. Something happened to you that made you put up this wall, and it's yourself trying to protect you from that happening again. It's a traumatic response. You have to sit in stillness and allow yourself to feel that trauma, reflect on that, and move past it. What you've been through, that darkness that you're running from, is really your superpower and your light if you face it. So that's why this episode is just so important to me. I'm so excited to get into this and go over the root causes, because if you go to a doctor in America, they're just going to prescribe you a pill. And for me, I waited 8 months to get on a list for a therapist, and I only had her for 2 months, and it we didn't even jive, wasn't great for me. So with lack of health insurance, I didn't have health insurance. If you're in a similar position, you're facing mental health issues, and I didn't have health insurance, so I was this is just never gonna end. No one's gonna help me. I can't. There's no help. I don't know how to do this. It was such a black hole. I read so many self-help books, so many holistic health books. I will link some down below in the description that helped me. But yeah, this was self-taught, and it was really a self-healing journey, and I only was able to get to where I am now because I took so many steps back from where I was, and I ripped away everything and started fresh, basically. I ripped away, and that's happened multiple times, because sometimes you rip away everything and you start fresh and you think it's right, but actually you went the wrong way again and you got to go again. And that's okay. That's life. You grow every single time. And because of those stories, because of those hard times that I've been through, because of the paths that I wasn't aligned in, I can stand here today aligned and tell my story and help someone, maybe you, maybe a friend, help someone out there who's has a similar story to me, or is in a position that I have been, get out of that position, even if they're alone, even if they're afraid, even if it feels hopeless. You can, and you will, and I'm here, and let's do this. Okay. So the first one we're going to go over is super common, especially in today's culture. It's talked about all the time. Anxiety. That Doechii song. I hate that Doechii song. Dude, when you're repeating something in your head, you have to be careful with what you're repeating, because remember, this system was built to keep you in it. So when there's songs that are out there on the top 40 that are about your anxiety controlling you, and you keep singing that over and over in your head, guess what your anxiety is going to start to do? Control you. It's like a mantra with music behind it. That's powerful, bro. What you tell yourself, that experiment of you put a plant, they have the same exact environment and circumstances. One you give hate to, one you give love to, and the plant that you give love to thrives, and the plant that you give hate to dies. You are the same. You are literally the same. So Be careful what you tell yourself, how you talk to yourself, what you put in your body, like mind. Be careful what you consume. It's very important. And when I was in my darkest, like I would consume anything. I wasn't looking for help. I was looking for a fast fix, right? I wasn't looking for, like I was looking for a Band-Aid or I was looking for a real fix, but instead I was giving myself a Band-Aid. Anxiety. It means that you have a hyperactive nervous system. You haven't taken the time to find stillness and regulate your nervous system. It means unresolved fear and trauma. So when you go through a traumatic experience and you just choose to push it away and keep going in your life, or honestly choose or just feel like you don't have time and you push it away and you continue to go, that is stored in your body somewhere, and it will come up and it will show you patterns in your life. It doesn't go away unless you feel it, unless you resolve it. It can also mean overstimulation, so too much caffeine, too many screens, lack of grounding, and suppressed self-expression. So when I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, I was doing the exact opposite of what my internal mind was telling me to do. I have a holistic cure for anxiety, grounding practices, walking barefoot in nature or yoga, nervous system regulation, breathwork, EFT tapping, meditation, herbal support like ashwagandha, chamomile, lavender, magnesium-rich foods. Majority of your serotonin receptors are literally in your stomach. Are you eating healthily? Are you eating intuitively? I had an eating disorder. When I was in high school, I was bulimic, and that caused a lot of mental health issues, like about body issues, mental issues. I mean, you're constantly telling yourself you're not worthy. Obviously I was having issues on the outside because how are you taking care of yourself, you're telling yourself you're unworthy every time that you do that, and it's a daily habit when you're in that cycle. And then journaling to release repetitive thoughts. So any anxious thoughts, you work through them. You really meet your shadow. You ask yourself, how are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? Okay, and validate yourself, and then move past it, because it's okay to feel. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. Feel it. And then once you feel it, you're going to get a lot more clarification on the subject, so then you can move forward with clarity and confidence and say, okay, this is how I feel, this is what I want to do. And you're over that indecision, constantly going and never really taking the time to understand how you're feeling. What is this what I really want? Sometimes life just goes so fast and you're on that hamster wheel and you don't even have the time to think about, is this what I want? Give yourself that divine, luxurious stillness. That's stillness, just being able to be, is such a privilege. Enjoy it. Number 2 is depression. Depression means that your energy is turned inwards. Now let me break that down really quick. Normally our life force energy flows outward into creativity, joy, action, connection. When something blocks that, like grief, hopelessness, or a sense of why even bother, that energy doesn't just disappear, it literally folds in on itself. It feels like a heaviness and stagnation in the body where you literally don't want to move. It's self-criticism instead of outward expression. You lost interest in creating or connecting, and your thoughts just keep looping inward instead of engaging outwardly in life. So instead of energy flowing outwards into the world, it circles back and weighs on the self, like an inward collapse rather than an outward expansion. So it's unprocessed grief, chronic inflammation, lack of purpose and connection, and suppressed creativity. The holistic cure, sunlight, dancing, movement, yoga, something to get the energy flowing. An anti-inflammatory diet. Diet is so important. Omega-3s, turmeric, leafy greens, citrus, creative expression, so writing, painting, journaling, creating art, whatever it may be for you. And a spiritual practice to connect with meaning and faith. Whatever you want to, the universe, God, Gaia, Earth, whatever you want to call it. Having faith in a higher power and connection with that higher power, knowing that you are a part of that, it makes you feel whole. It gives you that sense of wholeness and connection. And it is you, you know, it's a part of you. So denying like yourself that connection is denying like your lifeline. And lastly, community support. Next is insomnia. So when I was diagnosed, it was insomnia, depression, and anxiety. They came together, right? So usually like and eating disorder and whatever, like bad things come together. Like once there's one bad thing, more stack on. Same with good things. So choose a life that's like where you're like, oh my God, everything's so orgasmic, instead of a life where you're constantly complaining. Because that will just create more for you to complain about. Instead of but if you switch your perspective to, wow, look at this, I'm grateful for this. This is beautiful. I love this. Like all the good in the world, there's duality in everything, good and bad in everything. You choose what you put your perspective on. Insomnia. The holistic cause is overthinking, nervous system deregulation, overstimulation before bed, unresolved fears surfacing at night. Okay, so a holistic cure is no screens 1 to 2 hours before sleep, calming rituals like drinking tea, journaling, doing your skincare, gentle yoga stretches. Those will help relax your nervous system and put your body at ease so that you can have a restful sleep. Herbal aids like magnesium, passion fruit flower. There's so many like sleep aid teas. I also do sleep meditations. I find that those are super helpful when I'm having trouble sleeping. Next is PTSD and trauma response. The holistic cause of this is you basically have a sense of unsafety. You have unprocessed traumatic memory stored in the body's nervous system. The holistic cure, somatic therapy, yoga for trauma release, meditation, breath work, inner child work, shadow work, creating environments of safety and trust, herbal support like adaptogens and nervines, and gentle exposure to joy and creativity. When you're in creation mode, you're in your God mode. That's what I like to say, because like if you think about God or whoever created us and the earth and everything around us, the sunsets, the moon, the sun, you know, it's a creation. And all the animals, different variety of animals, they're all like different little creations. So when you're creating, you're in God mode. You're in your intuitive flow. You feel passionate and you feel just like flowy. You feel airy and light. You're not doing it because you have to. You're doing it because you get to. And that's beautiful, you know. And honestly, like any of these states of mind, it's like life, whatever happened to you happened, but you can take yourself out of that mental position and completely transform how you see life, how you act towards life, how you receive life, and how you go about, like how you do things. And that will change your flow from, if you're in a constant hustle or a hamster wheel, it'll change it to where you've got time, you've got money, you've got resources. You're not stressed, you're not worried, because you're regulated. That's what you're attracting. It's what you are. It's who you're being. Next is OCD. The holistic cause for OCD is desire for control when life feels unpredictable, perfectionism, and unexpressed anxiety. So the holistic cure is mindfulness to detach from compulsion. Meditate, visualizing yourself, seeing yourself in a scenario where you'd usually have that compulsion, but react differently this time. Meditate on it, visualize it, and then when it happens in your 3D, it's easier to react differently. Nervous system regulation practices, just like the others, meditation, journaling, EFT tapping, walking, yoga, breath work, journaling your fears, and affirming safety. Meet your shadow. Google shadow work questions to help with OCD, Google or depression or whatever. Google. You're not a victim to your reality anymore. You're truly so powerful in today's day and age, because this is the age of information. You can heal yourself. You don't need to wait for a doctor's approval or pill. You can do it. And honestly, you are the only one who can do it. Reduce stimulants like caffeine and use grounding herbs like holy basil and lemon balm. Okay, next is bipolar tendencies. So the holistic cause for this is nervous system extremes, so really high highs, really low lows, emotional dysregulation, repressed spiritual creative energy alternating with burnout. So the holistic cure, stabilize your routines and circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is your internal 24-hour clock. Those 2 hours before the sun rises, in yoga terms, they call it sattva. And that means the peace and clarity. So in our day, our bodies and the world, it goes through 3 energies, the sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva is the energy of clarity and peace. And so that happens 2 hours before the sun rises. And then when the sun starts to rise, then we start moving into rajas, where it's like the super hectic, active, moving energy, rajas, go, 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 go. And then there's tamas. It happens around the evening time where everything starts to settle and slow down, slowness, stillness, tamas. Too much of any of these is bad. Regulation of all 3 of these is perfect. That's where your circadian rhythm needs to be. It wants all 3 of those things in an equal level. When your circadian rhythm is balanced, you feel alert in the morning, you have steady energy throughout the day, you sleep at night, you have a healthy appetite and digestion, and your mood is better regulated. When it's off, you might experience insomnia or restless sleep, afternoon crashes or constant fatigue, anxiety or a lower mood, hormone imbalances, or weight fluctuations. So guys, oftentimes these illnesses, even cancer, glaucoma, first of all, glaucoma is too much sugar in your eyes. Cancer is too much sugar in your blood. These processed sugars are killing you. This processed food is killing you. That's one thing. Secondly, these illnesses that are showing up is your body saying, listen to me, turn inwards, listen to me, please, 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 please. Listen to me. Your body is telling you to rest. Your body is telling you that I need stillness. Your body is telling you, please regulate me. Please take time for me. Please care for me. Now back to bipolar. Stabilizing routines in your circadian rhythm for bipolar. All other holistic cures for bipolar are gentle, consistent movement like walking and yoga. Going to the gym is part of my daily routine. I go to the gym, I lift weights, I do that all the time. Yoga will help you more with weight management than going to the gym will, because your nervous system's getting regulated and your metabolism is slow because your nervous system is deregulated. But that will help you just as much, if not more, than going to the gym, lifting heavy weights, pushing your body to the ultimate max to try and build your muscle as much as possible. That's great and all. That's great to have goals and to go after that, but that's not the definition of mental health or health. Okay, so just a side topic. Gentle, consistent movement can help your body and your mind a lot more sometimes. Focus your nutrition on blood sugar balance. Mood stabilizing herbs like omega-3s. My dad started taking fish oil to help with anger management because he read that they give it to prisoners and it helps them, it reduces their anger, they get in way less fights and stuff like that. And it's been helping my dad a lot. So omega-3s for anger management, nervous system regulation, that will help. And lastly, spiritual grounding practices. Always. When I was growing up in high school, I had a resentment towards God for a while. I was raised Christian, and then I moved from Florida to Minnesota, and everybody that I surrounded myself in Minnesota was atheist for a while, and I kind of just, consumed their beliefs and then took them on as my own in some ways, or also maybe I just wanted to fit in a new area, things like that. But anyways, I lost my spirituality for a while, and I didn't come back to it until I was left literally with nothing, no people, I was so lonely that I met God again. I met my spirituality again. I met that little voice inside of me again, and I just continued to grow in that. And it's such a beautiful connection that I truly don't think I could possibly live without anymore. And I see how that was really the missing piece for me in my mental health the whole time, spiritual connection and a spiritual practice, because that gave me the faith when otherwise all that was around me was fear. So instead of choosing fear, I had the audacity to choose faith because of my spiritual connection, and that led me to prosper and to just find beauty and goodness and find God in the world instead of evil. Number 7 is burnout and chronic stress. The holistic cause of this is living in survival mode, disconnection from authentic self, Pushing beyond capacity without rest. This was me to a T after I dropped out of college. I got this job where I was making like a lot of money. I was making like 10, 20, 30K a month, but I was working 12-hour weeks, or I was working like 12, 16-hour days, 6 days a week. And my boss was super controlling over my time. And it was an unhealthy like work environment. And I started getting cystic acne. That's when I tried to off myself, because it was just such a terrible time for me. And it was just like, I did not see an end. It kept going, it kept piling on, and the life was going so fast, and I just didn't have a time to breathe. So here's the cure for it. Nervous system resets, obviously. Breathwork, yoga, meditation. After that job, by the way, I got yoga certified. I started learning about holistic health. I started learning about myself, and like started asking myself the true question of, what do you want to do? Okay, you want to do YouTube? How are we going to do it? What type of message do you want to get across? Like, what type of person do you want to be? Like, what do you want to, after I hit these lows, I next reached highs. I'm not saying that you have to hit lows to reach highs. All I'm saying is that this darkness that you're in right now could very well be the light that gets you out. Because sitting here and being able to tell my story in a positive light and hopefully impact others in a positive way means the world to me. I'm creating, I'm expressing myself authentically, and I'm having fun doing it. I'm being playful. I'm not taking this life so seriously. I'm just here to enjoy. Also saying no and creating boundaries. I lacked so many boundaries. Once I started pouring into myself, giving myself the love that I was seeking in others, and validating myself, that created a safe space for me to create boundaries where I was able to interact with people and determine whether or not, is this person going to value me, or like add value to my life, or is this person going to take from me? And not to discredit them or say that they're a bad person. Is this where I am meant to be? I'm able to now say, no, that doesn't work for me, or this makes me uncomfortable, instead of shrinking myself to fit into a circumstance that is not meant for me. Adaptogens like ashwagandha and reishi help as well. And restorative movement over exercising. If there's too much of something, like sattva, rajas, and tamas, if there's too much of some sort of energy going on, there might be a problem, and it can grow. That small problem can grow, right? Because negative things attract more negative things. Positive things attract more positive things. But don't look at your emotions as negative. Don't look at anger or sadness or whatever, grief. Don't look at those as negative. Let your feelings come and flow and go. And look at them in a loving, gentle parenting way towards yourself. Okay? Because do not shame yourself for feeling a certain way. Do not shame yourself and say, like, anger is bad. I had a bad day because today I felt angry. No. Being a human is about feeling that broad spectrum of human emotions. None of them are bad. All of them are good. Just, you can have like a dominant state. Like in your depression, dominantly you're sad and you're like lethargic, and like that's your dominant state, right? It's okay to sometimes be sad, sometimes be lethargic. Have like one day every month or whatever. It's okay. But your dominant state should be joyful, playful, excited, loving, generous. That's your dominant state that you should be aiming for. It's okay to feel everything and go through the motions and not always be happy. It is more than okay. But you should be able to stay in your dominant state, understand when you're feeling any emotions, be emotionally intelligent enough to say, oh, I'm feeling angry right now. And then take a step back from the scenario, and instead of reacting and responding in an angry way, you go and sit with the emotion, you understand why you're feeling that, and then you react and respond in a proactive way. So you're not an angry person, you just felt anger, and it's okay to feel anger. It's okay to make mistakes. Don't shame yourself for not being perfect. It is okay to not be perfect. Give yourself that grace to heal and change. The last cure for burnout and stress is reconnecting to joy and play. Find that childlike joy and playful energy again, because no one took that from you except for you. Give yourself the power to like play like a child again, like the world is mine, like there's nothing, bad. Don't become the people that hurt you and battered and bruised you and do that to others. Heal yourself and then heal others. 8 is eating disorders, so restrictions and binging. The holistic cause for these are desire for control, lack of self-love, emotional suppression, and unresolved body image wounds. The holistic cure is inner child and shadow work, rebuilding trust with food through mindful eating. So eating healthy when you want to, not restricting yourself, but also eating food that's going to restore your body, help your mind be healthy and clear, and make you feel good, Because if you eat like a whole box of donuts, you're going to talk crap about yourself after, and you're going to feel lethargic. And then vice versa, if you don't eat anything, you're going to talk shit about yourself the whole day, and then you're going to feel lethargic. Nervous system soothing instead of food punishment or reward. So instead of using food as a reward or a punishment, allow it to just be food. Allow it to just be this nourishing thing that you get whenever you want. It's a regular thing whenever your body calls for it, not your over compulsive mind. Community and therapy support. You're not alone in this. There are so many people that are like-minded, and getting that type of connection can definitely help you through that journey. Lastly, affirmations for body acceptance and self-love. Look in the mirror, get in that mirror and tell yourself you love yourself until you believe it. And you'll glow up. When you truly believe it, you look like it. Next mental illness that we're going to go over is social anxiety. The holistic cause for social anxiety: fear of rejection, past wounds from bullying or criticism, disconnection from authentic expression. So I don't know about you, but when I had acne and I was completely not myself, I wanted to hide my body, hide my face, not go outside. It scared me to be in crowds. It scared me to be around large groups of people. It scared me to meet new people. And sometimes I still have problems meeting new people and going into crowds. Life happens, right? Life happens. People hurt you. But I'm not going to give that person or those people my power. I'm not going to let them shrink me to the level that they intended to. I'm going to feel it, and then I'm going to get in the mirror and I'm going to tell myself, you are worthy. You are loved. You are seen. You are valued. And you are a cool person who deserves connection. And then I'm going to push myself into scenarios that sometimes make me uncomfortable because that's how I grow. But I'm going to do some nervous system regulation beforehand. So some cures, holistic cures for this would be breath work before social settings, nervous system calming herbs like kava, lavender, lemon balm. Say affirmations to yourself or in the mirror. I am safe to be seen. I am loved as I am. And then gradual exposure and self-compassion practices. So for a long time, I didn't go out at night anymore. I didn't really want to go to clubs or anything like that, bars, no night scene, no nightlife, because I just, it reminded me of bad times. and I would just go out to farmers markets or to yoga studios. And a lot of the times in those yoga studios, I wouldn't even talk to someone, but that was sometimes the only time that I had human connection that day. And people had no idea how much it meant to me when they'd stop me on the street and smile and do those little things. You have no idea how much it means to people when you do you have really just no idea what someone's going through. I remember someone invited me to hang out one time and I didn't even go because I was so nervous. But the fact that they invited me, brought me to, it made me so happy that they thought of me and wanted me there. You have no idea what people are going through. You have no idea. Those little actions that would light you up, light others up too. Lastly, for holistic cures for social anxiety, it would be voice activating exercises as well. Singing, chanting, journaling, maybe even talking to a camera. This is how I really got back to myself, was talking to my camera. And yeah, it helped me so much. Getting my voice back, figuring out me was this journey with y'all. The last mental illness we're going to go over today is addiction. So substance abuse, social media, or whatever that may be. So the holistic cause is attempt to numb a pain or fill a void. There's a lack of inner fulfillment, so you're looking for dopamine elsewhere because your personal dopamine is dysregulated. The holistic cure for this: replace numbing habits with nourishing ones, like movement, creativity, breathwork. Give yourself a dopamine reset, so time in nature, mindfulness, or cold showers. Find the root cause, so healing the trauma or that void. Community and accountability, adaptogens for stress relief. I'm so sorry about they're cutting like trees down outside of my window. I'm glad that they just kind of got to it though, because they were doing that earlier this morning. And so the video is basically over, so yay. So general holistic healing tools for all mental health issues: meditation and mindfulness, yoga and breathwork, nervous system regulation, herbal and nutritional support, creative expression, energy healing, so Reiki, sound baths, crystals, inner child and shadow work, and building a loving, safe community. Thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you took something from it. If you did, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, join the community of like-minded people trying to grow, heal, and create authentically together. I'm Snow White. I love you so much. I'll be back soon. The moment I roll it out, it's like my soul ignites. It's grippy, cushioned, and stays grounded, just like I like to be. When the world feels loud, this is where I come to hear myself again. The artwork was chosen to inspire clarity, calm, and creativity. It's more than a mat, it's a reflection of how I want to feel. With 12 designs curated just for you, for your practice to feel like a sacred ritual. More information on my Etsy.